How amazing is this? Being, being one God, talking to itself in the imagination, dreaming this. And imagine having a daydream. How can you be separate from it? Was it real? Did it happen? Were there separate objects in the daydream? Or was it just one mind making love to itself? And what's aware of this? What's aware of the sound of this voice? That which is ineffable, non conceptual, nameless, immortal, infinite. That which never goes away, that which is always here, now. This pure beingness, this felt sense of I am, this felt sense of being, which has no words, which is prior to concept, prior to thought, the source of thought that you are, that which is permanent, still, silent, that never leaves you. Take away all of the passing images, the shapes, the forms, the objects on the screen, the concepts, the thoughts. And what is there? All there is this beingness, this aliveness, indescribable, wordless, nameless. It just is. And that's all there is. This presence, this beingness, this awareness of being aware. What is always here now, eternally, that has no beginning or end? And the silence is the answer. And it's already realized, it's already done. You can't attain it because you are it. This is what you've always been. This is all there is this feeling, this felt sense, beingness. being, prior to mind, prior to thought. This is your original faceless face. This pure sentience. The source of life. You can't find it because you are it, and you can't know it because you are the knowing. And it's indistinguishable. Everything is. Everything is this. And how beautiful, like in deep sleep, which is one of the biggest clues of what you are, is the Pada Brahman, the unmanifest, the noumenal God, infinite, singular, pure awareness that can't see itself. Not conscious of being, but in this beautiful dream, imagining what you're not. You're formless, you're invisible, but through this dream, this phenomenal content of consciousness, you can be aware of being, be aware of consciousness, conscious presence, beingness, appearing as everything, exploring yourself as everything. What is it like to be everything? Making love to yourself through every sensation. Nothing is separate. Making love to yourself through thoughts, taste, touch, feeling, seeing, perceiving, perceiving sensations. No one separate from it. Can't stand apart from yourself to be separate, to be a separate individual. What's being searched for is the one aware of the search, which is the source of the mind, appearing as the searching. It's so beautiful. What's being looked for is what's perceiving the looking and is the looking. Like the Ouroboros swallowing itself. It's everything. That which is aware of the looking is what you're looking for, which you already are, which is what's looking. It's so beautiful. Because if you can be aware of it, you precede it. You're the source of it. And that's even logical. If you're aware of something, you're prior to it. And so there can be this initial, like seeing that, like the mirror turning around on itself, being aware of being aware. And you can see very clearly your original face as the absolute that's dreaming this, that's imagining this. And then you can see that this phenomenal content that's appearing on the screen that you are unaffected by, you're uninvolved, you're impartial, you're totally content, you're bliss, you're the source of bliss. So there can be that initial like seeing that, recognizing that, which is already cognized, like Sailor Bob says, it's already cognized, it's just recognized. It's already done, it's too obvious, it's too self-evident, being aware, this conscious presence, this just like almost too loud, it's like palpable. But it was too obvious that it was overlooked. And so then you can see that there is no subject object. So the absolute is the relative is the absolute. So there's that initial, the mirror turning around on itself, seeing your original face by, like spontaneously being aware of this felt sense of being without thought, being aware of being aware. And then what would any of this be without being aware? It wouldn't appear to exist. It is awareness. It's all awareness. There are no objects. There is no separation. It's self aware. It's like an inverted mirror. It's just, that's all there is. So there is no subject object. You could say it's all subject. It's all one God, experiencing, verb, experiencing, feeling. So then there can be that initial like seeing that and seeing how all of this phenomenal content is an illusion. It's a dream. You're God dreaming this, and none of these objects are real. And then you're focused on being aware. So like the mirror's turned around on itself, and you're being aware of being aware, and you can see that it's unaffected by anything that's happening in the dream, because the dream's not even happening. Nothing's happening. And then you can see that it wouldn't appear without you. You're the source of it. You're permeating, you're appearing as whatever's appearing to happen in the dream. Just like a daydream, having a daydream. How can you be separate from it? It's one mind. There's just awareness, perceiving sensations, perceiving impersonal sensations. It's all you. It's all you making love to yourself through everything. So it can't be separate. There is no subject object separation. And so then there's no perceiving. It's just being. This is deep sleep. This is the noumenon. This is no thing. So all there is this beingness, this wholeness, this isness. It can't be separate. And it's so obvious without thought. There's this just this pure conscious awareness, this just pure non-conceptual aliveness that just is. I am. Everything's I am. Everything's God. So being invisible and all alone, singular, it senses itself in the sensations. The quality is projected mentally, being imagined. So just like in deep sleep where you're pure awareness and not conscious of being aware, you just are, you're singular, you're all alone. In this projection, this mental imagining of what you're not, you're formless, you're invisible, but without qualities, and infinite can be anything, empty potential, and can be infinite qualities appearing as infinite qualities in this dream of consciousness, this dream. Everything is your mirror. You see yourself through everything, through the sound of the voice, through the walking of the footsteps, through every appearance, every sensation, permeating, enveloping, embracing, appearing as everything, not separate from it, as one self awareness. So there is no subject object. And this dissolves everything. This feeling, the pointing with this word feeling points to that which is non conceptual, without thought. This felt sense of beingness, this just being that's already fulfilled, that's already whole, that needs nothing, that's deathless, unborn, eternal, that which is always with you, that which you are. And there can be this beautiful love story of misidentifying that which cannot be contained, which is beyond mind, the source of mind that you are, with being an object, with just being the body, which can appear to make this illusion of subject object. But how beautiful is that? You as the infinite, the eternal, the invisible, that can't be known, getting lost in its own dream, experiencing what it's like to be mortal, to be finite, to think this is real. What a beautiful love story. And everything being the clue to wake up, everything. All one God talking to itself in the imagination, waking itself up from the dream. So even in every like song lyric in movies, in the analogy of the movie theater, the clue of the dream at night, the clue of deep sleep, everything is the clue. Everything, it's everywhere. Is God talking to itself, waking itself up. It's just amazing. Appearing as every quality, every sensation. And what is there without a thought? You can't even distinguish. Without a thought, it's so obvious there's no separation. And even with a thought, there's no separation. It's just appearing as reference point, appearing as opposite concepts to define something, to conceptually, mentally project images in the imagination just for fun, appearing as all of this dream world just for fun. I remember when it was just so obvious there's no subject object. I was standing in line somewhere at a store, and there was no thoughts. It was just focusing on the felt sense of being just this conscious presence that just is this aliveness without thought. And there was not even, nothing can be distinguished, so like you could say that there was seeing, like a scene or something, like because there apparently was a store, or like a objects in a store, but without thought, without the reference point, you can't differentiate anything. There's no, it's indistinguishable. It's one whole. So there's not even perceiving, there's not even, it just is. It's just pure beingness. It's just being. And then the mind came in to measure that or look at that. And so it was only through a thought arising in the mind looking at, oh wow, it's the thoughts that seem to distinguish in reference to its opposite. So that's how it negates the information, or the illusion of knowledge of, hey, I'm on a Zoom. um yeah, without, what is there without a thought? And so I could see how playful, it is. It's just so beautiful. And there's not even any objects. It's all this felt sense of aliveness, of beingness. That's all there is. And how playful the thoughts are to define everything, and so that you as God, as formless, infinite, invisible, can have this illusory experience. So without thought, which is the original face, prior to mind, there's not even the idea of seeing or perceiving. It's just like deep sleep. So standing in that store, it was just deep sleep. There was no thing, nothing, not even any objects, because without thought, defining it, when you're just in the feeling of pure presence, it's so obvious there is no thing, nothing. So just like Ananda, my ma, she would always say, basically like, don't focus outward, focus inward. And what she was saying was, like when there's that misidentification with solely identifying this pure, eternal, boundless energy, this total aliveness, this conscious presence with the object of attention, the illusory body that's not even real. It gives sentience to this body. It claims, like, this is the sentience. I am this body. I am this character, Jenny. I am I am the body and the thoughts, which makes up the avatar. So then there's that illusion of subject object, of separate objects. So it objectifies this pure subject that can't be contained, you know. And that's God experiencing what it's like to be human when you're not, when you're limitless, you're formless. So, so it can be recognized that that's all there is this feeling I am that has no words, this indescribable. It is everything, and it swallows everything, the entire illusory universe. It dissolves everything. Even if a thought arises or some kind of sensation arises, by focusing on the feeling, it completely dissolves. It swallows everything because it is everything. It is everything. The relative is the absolute. All there is the absolute. Yay. And so through this, so by appearing as two, you can see yourself as one. So through this illusion of duality, of this conscious dream, you can see yourself. So the singularity can see itself through this illusion of duality. Because how else could you, you know? That's just amazing. So we can chat about anything, everything, and nothing.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Rod, it's your bedtime.
Yeah. I I slept a little and at 7 o'clock. No, no. In the afternoon I slept a little, so I am not sleepy.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Yay.
So last time Zoom with Lila,
Yeah.
there was a question. It was about like many seekers are frustrated with not getting enlightened. So during the Zoom, there was a remark that God do not wish to become enlightened. He wished
Mhm.
to he wished to continue living the normal
Yeah.
life.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun to talk about. And my friend Jack talks about it being mischievous, not wanting to look at itself, because by
Yeah.
distracting, by keeping distracted with these thoughts and concepts and worries and problems, all that stuff, you avoid the absence of identifying as the avatar, because it's too obvious without thought that you don't exist as an individual. That's why Papaji always kept saying, keep quiet, even for 5 seconds, just keep quiet, because it's too obvious without thought that all there is this pure beingness, this pure aliveness that has no personality, and that the whole thing, the whole avatar, all of it was imagined, that you are God imagining this, and none of this is really happening. So it's so yeah, staying distracted, and I could see that when it was starting to be too obvious here for in this story, that I was playfully postponing it. because I already knew it, you know, it was already self-evident, but I was intentionally distracting myself with problems to solve or something to resist, because what you resist persists. And so if you resist, it's the game of hide and seek. So it's refusal, you know, it's the word ignorance means ignoring, ignoring. So it's like not wanting to see, you know, not wanting to see itself. Because it's having fun. It's having fun in
Yeah.
this dream. Yeah. Even the pain, even the suffering. Oh, it's total bliss. It's blissing out on everything. And it's magical. And it's like in awe of everything. And that's what you are. And so by focusing on this feeling that precedes thought, that's prior to mind, that's the original face that you are, which is like the mirror turning on itself, the more you the more you're abiding as that, the more it takes over everything. I mean, and it's not that it takes over everything. You see, it already is everything, and there is nothing. You know, there is. It is, and then you can see that's all there is this total in loveness, this being in awe of this amazing, phenomenal appearance. You know, you appearing as this phenomenal everything, the content in the imagination, in consciousness, to explore yourself as everything. Yeah, it's like God's playground, you know, it's just for fun. And so it doesn't matter. It's like at first when I recognized this, I was like, oh my gosh. So that's so this is the purpose of it. It's like I'm God dreaming this, and I put the clues everywhere for me to wake up from the dream. I appeared as everything in the dream, even the trickster characters that were a nightmare that helped me wake up from the dream. Like I thought about that. I was like, how beautiful. And then, but then it was like, oh my gosh, everything's the purpose. Everything. It's just experiencing everything. Infinite, infinite perspectives, infinite meaning, infinite. So everything's the goal, like moving the hand. That's it. That's it. Everything is. So, like my sister that has never once questioned, who am I? What the hell am I doing here? Like we did, you know, how we were just like, what the hell's going on here? My sister, who's completely happy in the dream of, has a dream life, you know, just like a great, perfect life, whatever, has no, I mean, she's not trying to wake up from a dream. You know, it's just like that's the purpose. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. It's experiencing everything. One mind, one God, one dream, one, and it's not even happening. And that's the wild part. It's just like deep sleep, completely unmanifest. No thing, no objects. But through this illusion of objects can see itself. The mirror, everything's the mirror. So just like when you're being aware of being aware, you're, you know, you have to be aware of something. You're always aware of something, but you can be aware of something and bounce back, reflect off of the object of awareness, and awareness sees itself because it's invisible, can't be seen. So through all of these objects that aren't objects, that are you as mirrors, you know, you can see yourself, which is amazing.
So you mean your sister not interested in awakening? This is perfect. This is
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like everything's the purpose,
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
you know?
Even the wars, the crimes, the rape,
Yeah,
everything is perfect.
yeah. Even the Manson family, all of it is just absolutely stunning. And it's not real. It's not even happening. It's wild. And yeah, they have no clue what I'm talking about. And it's like so there's just, and it's all resonance. This is all energy. So it's like a radio station, a dial. So it's like you tune in. Like if you're starting to question, who am I? Well, then non duality is going to show up on your YouTube algorithm, and it's just like, then you tune because you're resonating on that frequency because you are that, you're that already, you're being that. So you're already awakened, it's already done. And that's, when it shows up or whatever. But, so for example, they're resonating on, a material world of it being real, and they're happy in that, and that's perfect. So that's the radio station that it's on. It's like infinite perspectives and infinite potential. What is it like to be this? What is it like to be this? What is it like for this to happen? What is it? And it's so malleable and changeable. And so if there's like this resonance with being free, so like if there's this resonance with anything, the imagination um, cherry picks the confirmation bias. It selects, and it mentally projects in the imagination the evidence of it. So that's like synchronicities and stuff like that. So you'll see everything that you want to see. Basically, you'll only see that. It'll just select that, and then so if you're resonating on being free, being, you know, and non-duality and all that stuff, you know, you'll resonate on the with the evidence. So it's just
So,
playful.
so the video I click every day on the net, it is not random. It is it is it is
It's
it,
resonance, energy.
yeah, it is
Mhm.
resonance.
Yeah.
For example, today I click on video about uh, Kundalini awakening,
Mm-hmm.
and it just came. I did not search.
Yep. That was the
It just
station we're on. Isn't
it just came.
that cool? Yeah, for in the story, the Jenny story, I was obsessed. I was obsessed. It was excruciating. I was so earnest and devoted on my knees, screaming for enlightenment. I was like, and one day I was like, what is the fastest way? Where's the fast forward button? Where's the fast forward button? I look at the phone, and there is the first video of non duality. And I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen yeah. And then it was like, okay. So it was like that opening, it's like and so it's just resonating on that radio station, and then rendering the evidence because you're God. So whatever you pay attention to, you create, you render, seeing is rendering, resonating is rendering. So the imagination will project magically what's being resonated on is evidence, proving. So you can prove anything, like everything's the truth because it's infinite meaning. It's whatever meaning you give it. It's like the sugar pill or the placebo effect, and it can't appear without the observer. So you're the source.
Yeah, that totally makes sense now because when I first started, and things were starting to pop up on YouTube. And I would just sit there, I'm like, how is this happening? How is this happening? And it would be like one subject, then it would kick over to another subject when I
Mm.
deemed that I don't want that one anymore, or what's next, similar to where what you said. And I'm just like, how is this happening? But that, because I started to resonate and
Yeah.
tune into that,
Isn't that amazing?
yes,
You can tune
that's
into
totally
anything.
amazing.
And it's so cool too because there's no choice whether or not to tune into something. It's just appearing to happen, like in a dream at night where it's just the character, or watching a movie, the character's just doing stuff, you know? So I had no choice to figure that out because when I recognized this, kind of like Nisargadatta said, when you realize you're the Pada Brahman, um, all the secrets of the universe will be revealed to you. And it appeared to happen that way here, where I was like, holy shit, I could see through everything. I could even see how the imagination works. And then I figured out how to manipulate it. I was like, I'm going to mess around with this. This is so fun. And so I started doing this experiment, and I did it for years. And I still do it sometimes just for fun. But it was like for entertainment, I would resonate on a radio station and attract the evidence just for fun and just entertain myself with it. And I watched, you know, miraculous healings. I watched so much magic, and it's just so magical, you know. And there was no choice whether or not to do that. It's just because there's no doer, you know, there's no one doing it. It's just appearing, you know. It's like it's amazing.
444.
Yeah. I saw 222 today. That's fun.
Yeah, I
That's
see it all the time. 44
hmm
is the biggest one for me. But you always mention is it the Ouroboros, the snake eating
yeah.
its tail?
hmm
And I think I've mentioned it before when I had the experience of it. I would say that I was experiencing myself as pure consciousness with a white background, and that colorful ball in front of me was consuming itself.
hmm
It was just sitting there, and as a thought would come to me, it would start to arise out of that ball of colors, and it was just
hmm Yeah.
beautiful. And the colors were so vibrant,
hmm
and it was just, yeah, it would
Yeah.
be it was just like rotating on itself, and it's pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
that
That's
was
why I
that's
always go ahead.
it was just like, there's something different. There's It just kind of makes you think that, yeah, reality just isn't what you think it is, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah. This
more to
is
it.
an illusion. This is, yeah. This is, and what's perceiving the illusion, you know, what's aware of it. That's the source, and that's what you are, you know, appearing as this illusion. And so when I always say this is God making love to itself, when that subject object was gone, you know, that pretend veil that seemed to be obscuring it, you know, and it was just too obvious. It's always been this, but it was like every sensation, even a thought, even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a word was just shimmering, just ecstasy. So I could see how God, you as God, you know, dreaming this, is making love to itself through everything, through being, through being. And so all of this is being. That's all there is. There's no separate objects. There's just this in loveness, this ecstasy, this total beingness. So, like, even people talking. It was like the most beautiful thing I'd ever heard, ever. And then it was like, even seeing this avatar in the mirror, I had never seen it before. It was just like, and it was like, how did I not see this before? And I could see how I had misidentified this total aliveness, this total conscious presence with being an object. And that was the whole delusion, which also was the most beautiful love story of God that's infinite, invisible, formless, you know, experiencing what it was like to be finite and limited in a form that's not real. Yeah, so it was like, wow.
Psychedelics did that for me, but now I know like it was just placebo. Like it wasn't anything. It was, but I don't know if I had to trick myself into thinking, it was the psychedelics, or maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Like it was, I saw that shimmering. Everything was shimmering. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
just like you're just in love with everything and just in awe, looking at myself in the mirror. And yeah, like not recognizing who I was, because it's like I
Mm-hmm.
was seeing a younger me and an older me, and then different faces. It was
Mm-hmm.
incredible. And just
Yeah,
being in love with everything. It's just like, wow,
which is this
this is
right now.
amazing.
That's all there
Exactly.
is
I
right
know.
now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
happening
I
right
know.
now.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all there is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Hmm.
This in loveness. And it's too obvious. It's too self evident. Like it's already done, already cognized, already realized. It can't be realized or attained because you are it already. It's amazing.
You know the Bahya Sutra? Bahya Sutra. It says, in the seen, there is only seeing. In the heard, there is only hearing. In the cognized, there is only cognizing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the Buddha told Bahya.
Oh,
Bahya.
beautiful.
You know about that? Bahya Sutta? No?
Mm-mm.
So what what is the pointing here? In the seen, there is only seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no subject object. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
subject and the object are one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I sometimes sit in bed at night, and I'll have conversations with myself, of course. And I'm like, I'm everything. I'm nothing. And then it just starts snowballing. And then I'm like, I'm everything, but
Yay!
I'm nothing. Right. And then it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep now. Or go into another dream or something. And then I'll wake up, and then I'm everything.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it's magical too. It's like watching a movie you've never seen. Like it's a surprise. Like you have no clue what's going to happen in the movie, and just everything's just amazing. And even pain, you're like, "Ooh, what's that? Whoa." Because it's like all of this is impersonal sensations. Even if there's pain, if you close your eyes, you can't, when you close your eyes, it's obvious there is no body. There's no, it's just this infinite spaciousness that has no borders or boundaries. So all of these are just mental sensations, impersonal mental sensations appearing in pure consciousness, not happening to you. So it's like everything is equally blissful and equally, you know, you're just in awe like a child. It's like, and there is no differentiation between one sensation and the other. Pleasure and pain is the same. It's like And you're always content, abiding in this pure beingness that you are. It's just that's the everlasting happiness, that just is. Yeah, even if the character gets annoyed or sad, there's a subtle joy in it, or like a blissed out about it.
It can still arise. Like, I was so angry the other day thinking about something, and then eventually it's just like, fuck it. Like, and then it was like, it was almost like these little strings were being pulled out of my body, like, don't need that, don't need
Hmm.
that. And it's just, I went from being so angry, like I could feel the redness in my face, to just like, and it was
That's
gone.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone and it didn't even happen. That's the other crazy part. It's like this is
Yeah.
timeless. Nothing's happening. I mean, where are these words going? They're just appearing and never even happened. You can't even
Mhm.
prove that the beginning of this call happened. It's like and then that when because your awareness, like when you're aware of the sensation, even of anger, without thought, it dissolves it, it swallows it whole, and it's like a homecoming, and it's whole and complete, and then it's done.
I felt so good afterwards. I'm just like, where did that,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's gone. And yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
carry on.
And it's like watching a movie too that you're uninvolved with. You're eating popcorn in the seat in the theater with your feet propped up, and you're just entertained, because some of the stuff with Jenny just cracks me up. It's just like the the beautiful qualities, and even the conditioning that shaped, the uniqueness and everything. It's just so cool how everything is just so beautiful and unique, and
Perfect.
yeah.
I laugh at myself so much these days. Or
Yeah.
anything. Anything will happen, and I just
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
everything that had to line up to do that, but it didn't. Like, it's just like you experience it and then it's gone. And
Yeah.
then it's,
Over before it starts.
yeah, yeah. The future is imagination, past is imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that it's almost like, if you think of a record, right? You've got all these grooves and the
Mm-hmm.
needles running along the groove, and it's like, it's that exact moment that you get the sound from that groove, and then
Mm-hmm.
once it's passed, there's nothing. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just the moment, right?
Yeah. Immediate. And
Immediate.
even
Yeah,
even a memory is new information arising now. It didn't happen before.
that's
It's
that's
because this is
crazy.
infinite intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even these words, like we never went to school to learn English or to learn how, like this is defining itself through negation,
Yes.
through
What,
opposite, through infinite information.
right? It's like, what are words? What is anything?
Yeah.
It's nothing, really. It's nothing
Yeah.
and everything. It's, everything's a
Yeah.
label. Nothing exists. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
pretty excited when I think about it, but then it's just like, things start to settle back down. It's like, and then you start thinking of things, and but then you
Hmm.
can get back into the ecstasy part of it.
Yeah. And thoughts are just for fun.
Yeah,
You don't even need thoughts. They're not even necessary.
exactly.
This is one
Yeah.
totality appearing to function. You can go all day without thoughts, and the body's still, acting on the screen, appearing, to do stuff, to function, to even talk and have conversations. You don't even have to think. It's
Hmm.
completely effortless. You're not in the body. You're not doing any of this.
Yeah.
And that
And
there is a body.
everything's a sign. Everything's a sign.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing, the thing, one of the big things over the last while. It's everything that happens to me, and I'm just like, there's a synchronicity, and it's like, it's a sign. Everything is a sign.
Yeah. Everything's the clue. Everything's God
Everything is the
talking
clue.
to
That's right.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. It's even on next Tuesday, I'll write down some of these song lyrics that I've been exchanging with my friends that are just hilarious and blowing my mind. There's even a fucking song that Charles Manson wrote that was basically saying we're all one and you're God. And it's like, holy shit.
Well,
It's
someone in
so
the last,
crazy.
go ahead.
Well, no, that was it.
Someone in the last Zoom call was talking about Charles Manson,
Yeah, that's
right?
what made us look it up. Because
Okay.
Michael, after the Zoom call, Michael sent me the song that the family sang to each other, that Charles Manson had written the song. And I looked up the lyrics and I was like, holy shit. Like it's everywhere. It's everything. It's just speaking to itself, singing to itself, serenading itself, waking itself up. And sometimes it can appear to be a nightmare to wake you up from the dream. Like for Jenny, there seemed to be like I was appearing as these trickster clowns or this freak show to kind of reveal that this is not real. Because I remember being like, there is no way this is real, you know? And there was that resonance. It's like, Big Blue, you know?
It's like today, like eh, you just sit back and you're like, there's no way this is real.
Mm-hmm.
We're we're just gonna end. We're just gonna end ourselves. Like that, it can't be real. It's just,
And you're eternal.
yeah,
Yeah, what's always there?
yeah.
Even when
Always has been.
the images come and go, the thoughts come and go, the content of awareness comes and goes, what is left? What is there? That's the screen, the substratum from which everything's appearing, disappearing. You are that. You are the source. It's just amazing. And it's amazing how even logical it is. Because if you're aware of the body, well, then how could you be the body? You would precede the body, which is so funny that we've always said that. We've always said, this is my body. This is my house. But I don't think I'm the house. It's like, and then it's like that, the mirror turning around on itself, being aware of being aware. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm the source. I'm the absolute, appearing as all of these beautiful illusory objects that are not even real, so that I can see myself. Because how else
Mhm.
could you see yourself
Exactly.
without appearing as what you're not?
There was another experience that I had with mushrooms where I was dog sitting and it wasn't even my home. And I'm walking around and if everything felt so familiar and I'm like, this is my house. How is
Yeah.
this my house? Because I right? And
Yeah.
I didn't think of it till just recently. I'm like, it's because I as everything that was me. It
Yeah.
just was me. That's why it felt so
Everything is.
home to me. Like it felt
Yes.
so familiar.
Yes. Just like every sound, every
Mhm.
word is just being. You're being all of it. You're being
Yes.
every sensation. Yeah. So yeah, the wall is you appearing as wall. Yeah, like the house is you appearing as house, but it's all um this pure energy, non-objective, you know, conceptual beingness that just is.
Mhm.
Just pure energy appearing as these objects that don't even look like objects. Like this even looks like a dream. It doesn't even look like there's anything solid, it's like ethereal. And how could this be separate? How can you separate yourself from even this, what's being seen? It's just like, this is the seer. Everything's the seer. Just being, experiencing. And like even that analogy of imagining daydreaming, like imagine daydreaming. How can you be separate from it? You know, you're the one aware of it, perceiving these beautiful mental projections, playing with yourself with this imagination, the playground.
So everything that could be, everything that can be imagined could be a possibility. You just have to resonate with it. You know,
Yeah,
like, because right now, like, I mean, as you're saying, like you change your resonance and things will start to appear in your on your screen of whatever.
right. You render the evidence like a
You render
hallucination,
the evidence, yeah.
imagination. Yeah, but you don't have a choice what to resonate on because there is no doer.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no separation, no individual. Yeah, so it's like when you're just like the what's his name, the Kabbalist master that remote views in in the imaginary story. The CIA wanted to hire him because he was so good at remote viewing. He could spy on different countries and stuff. He had no choice whether to do that or not. It's just, you know, God dreaming this infinite perspective or possibility or, you know, and it's like, it's all a magic show.
An
Yeah.
illusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No free will. No free will.
Yeah. I would say it was just would be divine will or something because it's all just one totality appearing to function as a whole. Appearing to unfold like a dream at night, spontaneously and uncaused and no cause and effect, no time. Only the meaning you give it. So it's infinite meaning, which cancels itself out to zero meaning. So it's whatever meaning you give it, which can be anything. And so it's all
What are,
equally true. Hmm?
what are your thoughts on extraterrestrials or other planets? Because I
Yeah.
mean, if the planet doesn't exist, like, do you think they're just other energetic beings that resonate
Well,
at different frequencies, or
it's
are
just
they
all
just
imaginary. It's all
it's all
imagination.
okay?
Yeah. So resonating, because I have a few friends in Colorado and Sedona that resonate on that frequency of aliens, and then they render evidence all the time. They're like sending me pictures of UFOs or whatever, orbs or like, or Sasquatches or it's all playful. It's all make believe. It's whatever you want it to be, you know, which is spontaneous and choiceless. But it's like when there's that resonance with it, there's the mental projection. It's just imagination. There's nothing physical, nothing
Okay.
real. So yeah, if you're resonating on the alien stuff, then you'll render evidence. You'll keep seeing synchronicities of it or stuff in the sky or mysterious objects or even encounter, you know, one or appear as it's just all it's all conceptual mental projections, just all make believe. Infinite, infinite potential, empty potential appearing as that as yeah. It's amazing because it's all like the placebo. It's all the sugar pill. Yeah, my boyfriend was talking about he was his body was having different sensations every day and he was like, I'm gonna keep a log of the food I eat or something so I can see if there's a correlation. And I'm silent for a while and I'm like, okay, well, have fun with that, you know, because not only is there no time, you know, there's no cause and effect, there is no correlation. If you try to figure it out, you will see that nothing makes sense. You will see that it can appear different each time because it's per resonance. It's per resonance that's being projected are rendered, you know, so depending on the frequency or the in that moment, then you'll render that evidence. So then if you keep a log, you'll see that it's different each time. Or you can also render the evidence if you're resonating with there being a correlation, then you'll bring evidence of that. It's all make believe. So it's like it's a comedy.
And also him feeling that he wants to do this
Hmm.
isn't his choice.
It's choiceless, yeah.
Right. So you basically be like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well,
I'm
I
just going to be
brought that
doing
up.
my thing.
Yeah, it's just, and then I was like, but in also there's no time, so nothing happened before this. So yesterday didn't happen when you ate pizza and felt great, or whatever you ate salad and felt like shit. There's yeah. And so so then we had a laugh. And then it's like, you know, it's all make believe, it's all playful. It doesn't matter. Even it's choiceless, even if you do want to find a correlation or um it's all playful. I mean, even like medical diagnosis, it's there is no cause and effect. There is no time for an event to occur. There's no evident. I mean, like you'll render the evidence just per resonance, which can change like a radio station dial. So that's why everything's a miracle and it just appears and disappears. That's why when I was little and my mom was a healer and she would lay hands, I remember witnessing many times, like for example, she laid hands on this child who had a brain tumor and she resonated on it disappearing or being gone or healed or whatever the resonance, and everyone in the room resonated on that resonance. It's like what Jesus said, like when two or more come together in this resonance, you will render the evidence. So then the child went to the doctor and the doctor couldn't find that it had ever existed. And so I was witnessing all of these miracles, you know, with and I could see how malleable it is and playful and just uncausal and no effect, no, and how healable, you know, and which is choiceless too. You don't have a choice whether to resonate on transmuting something or not. But I was messing around with that for so many years. I studied all of it. Like I even studied all the hermetic magic stuff too, and I used to play around with transmutation, and it was beautiful because even in the awakening I could see when someone would bring up a limitation or a something exclusive or a limited thought or belief, I would transmute it instantly. And so I would dissolve it with the feeling. I would, you know, the feeling without thought. I would just completely devour all of it. And so everything can be instantly transmuted, you know. So it's like mental alchemy, it's magic. It's and that's how the imagination works, you know. It's resonance, it's energy, it's mental, it's dream, and it's not even happening. It's not even, it's no thing.
When you say alchemizing, so say somebody comes right up to you and starts saying bad things to you, it's just like you're hearing it, but you just don't respond to it, as if like it's not
Hmm.
even happening. This guy's just
Yeah, most of
venting. Nothing's really
yeah.
happening.
I'll also add in this part that I noticed that per resonance the movie appears to change. For example, there was resonance on just total peace. And so I moved into a neighborhood where all I see are people walking around smiling, walking their dogs. all I see are people in rocking chairs waving. That's all I see. The doors are unlocked. The purse is in the car with the keys in the front seat with the door unlocked, because everything is me. So everything is welcomed. There's nothing harmful. Everything's harmless. Poison is only poisonous if you label it that. So when you bless everything, it's, it's total peace. And so there is nothing. I'm on the radio station where there's nothing there's no world. So then I don't even see what's going on in the world. There's nothing harmful. There's nothing going on. And then so it can appear to the radio station, can the frequency, the mental projection can appear to change per resonance. Because I'll tell you, when I've been on the radio station of a total nightmare before, and I know what that's like. And I was projecting it. So then there was that transmutation where I went in and I destroyed all of it. I dissolved all of it by focusing on the feeling I am without thought, and it just swallowed the entire universe. And so then it was just too obvious that this is all this pure sentience, this pure beingness that's totally in love, and so then I go to the tea house, and there's three couples making out in front of me. They're like almost making love, like at the tea house. And I'm like, this is hilarious. It's just being rendered. There's evidence of totally being in love. And
Tea
you know,
house orgy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I've only okay, so the transmutation thing you were talking about, I haven't had anyone be confrontational in a while, but when I did, the last time, most of the time I'll say that I'll smile and be silent and transmute it within myself. I'll just dissolve it by focusing on the feeling, and it swallows everything, and then it's done and nothing happened. But there was one time recently where the character, let's see, let me think of how to describe this. Got catapulted, you could say, because I was on a different radio station than the frequency that was being rendered, or that I'm not separate from, but appearing as me, looking at itself. And I catapulted out of it was almost like
Like a slingshot?
yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was like, there was an instant speaking a very brutal truth, kind of like explaining to the imaginary myself, talking to myself as an appearance in the imagination of the opposite, you could say, the opposite radio station or something. And I was just very bluntly saying what I could see was appearing to happen, and that there was a focusing on focusing on a negative thought. And then when there's an identification with it, then that negative thought will render more evidence of negative thoughts, and then it's like a downward spiral where it's just like lowering and lowering, kind of like high entropy, where it's like de-evolving, and it's almost like reaching death or something like that, the energy of death. And so I was just explaining what was happening with that, and I was like, it's just a thought. What is it without a thought? What's aware of the thought? What's perceiving the thought? Precedes the thought. There's the source of the thought. You are the source, from which the thought appears and disappears. And so I was pointing that out, but then I noticed that the body, like even in the imagined appearance, it was like a catapult or something out of yeah. So that's interesting to see how
that kind of reminds me of multiple times where you say you're sleeping and you're having a bad dream, and it's like you're catapulted out of the dream. That
Mm-hmm.
that's the you're pulled right out of it and you wake up,
Yeah,
right?
totally. Yeah.
And an example of the kind of downward spiral, there was an instance where, of course, I was I use substance to really open up my consciousness. So I was high. This was just recently, and I was watching YouTube videos, and they were coming at me negatively, and I'm like, and I was having a bad trip, and I just got scared, really scared. I watched multiples and then gave it up because I'm like, I can't do this because something like I just felt really bad.
Mm-hmm.
As I came out of it hours later, as the effect wore off, it's this thought came to me like, go ahead and go rewatch them now that you're in a better mindset. And I did, and it was totally different
Yeah. Beautiful.
because I was seeing like I was, you know what I mean? I was in a different
Mm-hmm.
mindset. And
Yeah.
that was a huge eye opener. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
not what I experienced the first time. So
That's amazing. Yeah. And
yeah,
even if a negative thought arises, um, being focusing, the pure awareness that you are on the even on the sensation of it dissolves it without
yeah.
thought. Yeah.
I just
Without
couldn't at the
thought.
time. I
Mm-hmm.
just seemed to spiral, like you said, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just feeding on itself.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
that
It does.
terrible feed, right?
It's amazing how that resonance will render evidence, more evidence of, and then the negative thoughts will just pile up and
Mhm.
kind of yeah. So just sitting in it with that feeling, which is pure beingness, and it brings it home. That's what's happening. It's saying, oh, I'm not separate from this. I am this. I'm appearing as this, and all there is this beingness, this sentience, this aliveness. So it's not. There's no subject object. There's no duality. There's no when when the fear comes up. The fear is just the intuitive alarm system screaming, this isn't separate, this isn't real, this isn't happening, which, like in the nightmare at night, that's what wakes you up, is the fear, is the resistance. So what's beautiful is like the resistance is you know, it's also the seeking or the veil of subject object, but at the same time, it's the catalyst to wake up. So it's a total gift, all of it. It's amazing. Without that resistance, you wouldn't wake up. I mean, it's incredible. Like the nightmare at night, it's that hardcore resistance. This can't be it. This can't be real. This can't be, oh my gosh, it's just a dream,
Mhm.
you know? Yeah, like even at night, the nightmare, the resistance, refusal to accept what is, and search for something else. So seeking something else wakes you up from the dream. It's inevitable. It just because it's too self-evident. It's actually effort to keep the dream real, to keep identifying as the avatar. That's hard work, you know?
Yeah, because you you basically have to mask who you really are,
Mm-hmm.
and that does take a lot of effort.
Yeah,
It's draining, and that's what's
it
happened.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and
it's
now
like
it's like I can be my true self.
yeah. Yeah, just like Ma saying stop focusing on the outside, focus on the inside
Mhm.
first because the mirror turns around on itself and then you can see the inside is the outside. There is no duality. But first you got to focus on the silent awareness, which is what's being aware of the outside, that inquiry into what you are, and then you can see that the outside is this pure sentience beingness that's not separate. So, and then in that, without thought, it's too obvious, it's too obvious. So then that mischievous, not wanting to see itself, that game of hide and seek where there's being distracted with the thoughts, because you are God. So whatever you pay attention to, you are, you're, so like identifying with the thoughts, lost in the dream, lost in the thoughts, everything becomes external or objective. And so
Get
that's
sucked back in.
the illusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting lost in the dream. So then like turning the mirror back on itself on the non-conceptual conscious presence, the feeling that has no words, that has no thoughts. It's too obvious that you don't exist as an individual. So that's why that game of hide and seek, it's like the staying distracted with the thoughts will avoid your own absence, will avoid, recognizing that you are this without qualities, invisible, formless, eternal self that never dies. That's yeah, which is so beautiful. That, I mean, I just remember weeping about it. I was like, oh my God, what a love story. Even the devotion, even the externalizing God was worshiping yourself. You as God, dreaming that you're worshiping yourself, looking for yourself, which is what's being longed for. So everything's being what's being longed for, even the looking, even the longing, even the on your knees screaming. It's like that's it. Yeah.
And I've thought for the longest time that everything is for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, and it's the real making the realization, or coming to the realization of who we are. I just lost what I was going to say.
I
It'll come back to me. I'm sure it will.
love it. I love when that
Yeah, it's
happens
just
because
gone.
it's like immediate. It's
Yeah,
immediate. And it
yeah,
didn't even happen. Yeah.
yeah,
The reason. You were saying the meaning or the reason or the.
yeah. I just need a minute.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. It's infinite meaning. It's infinite everything. It's
Mhm.
everything. It's everything, literally everything. So any meaning is the meaning you give it, resonance, energy. It's all meaning. It's no meaning. It's no reason because it's infinite reason.
I know
And
what I was thinking.
hmm,
Sorry. I know what I was thinking just before it goes away. So I was saying that everything happens for a reason, um, and I have been struggling the last little while, but this conversation with myself, right, is making things way clearer,
mm-hmm,
right? It's
mm-hmm.
the self-realization that what
Yeah,
I'm, what's going through what I'm thinking, and just talking about it.
mm-hmm,
It's not only making it clear, but it's making it real. You know what I mean? Like it's because
yeah. It's just resonance. Yeah,
it's
it's
just resonance. Yeah,
God talking to itself. Yeah,
yeah.
and that the the mind, the so like the noumenal that you are, that's prior to mind, the source of mind, appearing as mind to explore your infinite potential, um, is you could say a tool to wake up from the dream. It's like the self inquiry and the question and the it's just it's all a ritual. I used to call it like everything's witchcraft. It's all a ritual to resonate, on a to render evidence, hocus pocus is just magical in the imagination. That's how the imagination works. Um, yeah, and you're only as limited as you resonate on. When you realize you're limitless, there's you render evidence of that. You're just and it's just it's playful. And what you are, I mean, this is non-conceptual. This is all of this is just dream stuff, it's just illusion. It's not even happening. It's but playfully, what is it like to be this beingness? So what it is this natural reality, which is what you are in deep sleep, just the Pada Brahman.
Do you think there's a difference between a sleep dream and this dream?
No, no difference. Yeah.
Why do I always return to this dream though? Then, do you know what I
Well,
mean?
because the dream at night was just the clue to wake up from the dream to see that this is
Oh,
a dream. Yeah, so
okay.
everything's the clue.
All right.
Everything is
That
the
makes
clue,
sense. Okay.
literally.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally, you'll see that everything everyone says, everything in movies, everything in song lyrics,
Yeah.
everywhere, everything's the clue. It's just wild. It's so crazy.
Yeah, because like you were saying about the song lyrics, I can now listen to I love the 80s, apparently, and
Hmm.
listening to the lyrics and I'm like, wow, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time, but
Yeah.
I'm also listening to the lyrics and I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
How? Right?
It's so
Same with
obvious.
movies. Same with movies, right? Same with
Yeah,
movies.
it's so obvious. Even
Yeah.
the analogy of the movie theater, sitting and watching a movie, being uninvolved with the movie, the screen from which the images are being projected that aren't even real, that are just light beaming on a screen, like the imagination, the
Yeah.
images dancing, the mental concepts being projected per resonance that you're uninvolved with as the screen that doesn't get burned by the fire in the movie, and untouched, untainted, unstained, and then all of it is just so obvious, too obvious. So it's all God, you know, waking itself up from the dream with the clues everywhere because it's singular. So how couldn't it be obvious? It's
I watched the movie Lucy the other day.
oh yeah,
Or
you told me about
right?
that. I haven't seen
Yeah. And again, it's like the premise of the movie is she unlocks 100% of her brain capacity or brain, yeah, capacity.
that. Hmm.
And the last part of the movie, they're like, "Where are you?" And she's like, "I'm everywhere."
Beautiful.
Or I'm everything. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Yes. Yes." Right? It's like Christ consciousness or
Yeah.
you're everything. And that's the whole point. Like that's
Hmm.
right there. That sums it up kind of thing.
It's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah. Everything. No thing.
Yeah.
This beingness that's non-conceptual is everything, is appearing as every concept, every appearance, which is just imagined. And just like imagining the daydream, how can you be separate from it? What's really happening? All there is awareness of sensations, of qualities, and that's all there is, which is not separate. It's not, it's all encompassing, it's all pervading. There is no subject object, there is no separate seer, it's just seeing, being. So amazing.
Hmm.
Yay, friends. Yay! Thank you. That was so beautiful It's such a celebration. Every breath, it's precious, you know. And you want this, you know, you love this dream. You love everything. This total in loveness. You want to know what it's like to be. You want to know. And this love for life is everything, which is just pure energy, you know. It's no thing. How amazing. I love you guys. Mwah! Well, I'll see you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Ginny.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.